Hi, this is Mr. Spradlin, and this week we'll be looking at a game called One Button Bob. You'll find a link to One Button Bob on Blackboard. This link will take you to the Armor Games website where this game is located. And the way One Button Bob works is it's a one-button game. You only have one button, in this case the mouse button, that does a different thing depending on what stage you're on. Sometimes you'll jump, sometimes you'll attack, sometimes you'll move, all kinds of different stuff, and there's quite a bit of variation in this. Let's take a look at a few examples. I'll hit play here. My sound is off, so you'll be able to hear me still. In this first stage, Bob walks across automatically, and if I press the mouse button, he'll throw the boomerang. Now I've got to time it just right so he hits the bat before the bat hits me, and I have unlimited life, which is nice. I can run into the bat as often as I need to get it right. And your score on this is based on the number of clicks you've made. In this case, I've made 1 click so far. Let's see if I can time this just right and get that bat before it gets me. Alright, off to the next level. Now on this level, there's a big gap I've got to jump over. And you see the little box over his head, there's a jump meter. If I hold the mouse button down, it'll charge that jump meter, but I've got to time it just right because as soon as I let go, he's going to jump. Let's give it a shot. There we go. Now on this level, he'll walk straight ahead without pressing any buttons at all, and this spike falls right on his head. The button in this case will stop him in his tracks. He'll stop until I release the button. So I've got to stop right in front of the spike. Oop, I missed it. To let it pass by safely before I go on to the next level. Here we have a level with some ladders and some bombs in it, and if I don't do anything, he'll walk right into the bomb. In this case, the button will make him climb a ladder if he's near one. So I press the button near the ladder and the other one, and he crosses by safely. Here's another one. In this one, he doesn't move at all unless I hold the mouse button down. While I'm holding the button, he marches forward. The trick is to get him on this moving platform, which is a little bit hard, and then off safely to the other side. Here's an overhead view. In this level, we see Bob standing there, and whenever I click the button, he'll move forward 1 tile. I've got to watch that trap door there. Here's another one with the jump meter. This one is where it gets a bit tricky. Anyway, you get the point. Not very good at this. What I want you to do this week for your lesson is I want you to make your own version of One Button Bob in Scratch. Now, One Button Bob has a whole lot of levels. I'm not sure how many exactly, but it's quite a few. You only need to have 5 levels in yours. Now, each of your 5 levels has to have a different way that the mouse button responds. It has to do different things. In some levels it'll jump, in some levels it'll move, in some levels it'll attack, whatever you like, as long as all 5 of them are different. I'll give you some example code in Scratch. We'll take a look at that now. So here I have a few examples in Scratch of some ways to handle mouse clicks. And I'm not going to go over these in great detail in the video because I've left some pretty good comments here for you. I'd like you to read through the code, look at the comments, and get a sense for how they work. But I just want to go over these real briefly here. This first one here, the top script inside Sprite 1, this is example number 1. And this is a way to detect a click and release. Now I'm handling this for 2 levels. For level 1 in this first if statement here, and for level 2 in the second if statement. I don't have to have them both in here. I could just do level 1 all by itself, and that's fine. But this is the way you can handle more than one level, their code in one single stack of code. As an alternative, you could have a different sprite for each level, and we'll look at that in a second. But I also want to show you another way to do this, and this is with broadcast and receive. Now here I am receiving a message that says L1 click, level 1 click. And I'm sending that from the stage. I'll switch over there. And here's the stage. It says when the stage is clicked, handle if background number is 1, that's how we know our background level. And then we broadcast that L1 click. On all of these, somewhere in there you have to check and see what background you're on. And the background is how you know what level you're at. You could do it with a variable too, just have a variable called level, and that would work fine. But since you'll be changing backgrounds anyway, this makes it have a nice, easy way to handle this. So here's your background, which is your level, and that equals 1, and then we broadcast the L1 click. Over here we receive it, and then we do whatever we need to do with it. In this case I'm changing X, but you can do whatever you like. This is not a complete working example. I'm just showing you some different ways to handle the mouse clicks. So if you hit green flag and nothing important happens, don't worry, it's not supposed to. It's just an example of the code. But you can look through this here and see how these work. And also, what I want to show you as well is another method, which is a way to handle your mouse clicks on different levels by having a different sprite for each level. Here I have a second copy of the cat, and you can't see it in this window, but I am using a second copy of the cat. And in the second copy, we start off with the green flag and hide. We don't want to show up until it's time for that cat's level. So we wait until we get to level 2. Once we get to level 2, we show up. And then we want to repeat everything in here until we move on to level 3. Now in the first cat, we did it all in one stack of code. So we have a forever if mouse down, and then if level 1, do this, if level 2, do that, etc. Here we don't want to have it running constantly. We only want to have this loop running as long as we're inside level 2. So we wait until level 2 starts, we show, and then we start our repeat loop, and we end that repeat loop when we get to level 3. And then we just handle the mouse click and do whatever we need to do for that level. So those are 3 different examples for how to handle the mouse clicks, and I hope you'll have a good time with this assignment. Like I said, make your own version of One Button Bob. You're going to have 5 different levels. You're going to have a different mouse click action on each level, and I'll post some more details on Blackboard and text for the requirements of the project. But I'll put this file here in your Dropbox too, so you can take a look at it. Have a good time with that, and if you have any questions, just let me know.